Under 21 tournaments has been phenomenal, okay? And so many talents have brewed in to watch, okay? You must pay attention to a lot of these players. So before we get to it, do not forget to like this video for more topics just like this, and pay attention because now it's going to be exciting to see because it's an 11. The people will have answers and names that they can say to their friends, and I can assure you a lot of these players that we're going to be mentioning in 5 to 10 years time, they might be legends for their teams. I'm going to say that. So, goalkeeper, I think we got the same goalkeeper, James Trafford. Unreal he's been in the under 21 Euros for England. They haven't suffered a goal until the final. That's unreal, and that happens because of a leader in goal like James Trafford. So please pay attention to him, that he's going to Burnley too. So
Yeah, he's going to Burnley for quite a bit. And James Trafford is a Manchester City player who has not played necessarily a lick of Premier League football or first-tier football anywhere. He has actually spent his time at League One with the Bolton Wanderers. You're exactly right. And he's been good for them, but he hasn't been great. But he has stepped it up a notch in the U21 Euros. He's only 20, and £19 million seems a pretty penny to pay. But Manchester City has this down. Let them go on loan, let them ball out, and then sell them because it's very unlikely that they wind up being that number one. And then, I don't know, buy them back later if they become absolute superstars. But James Trafford has not yet conceded a goal and up until this final. And he's actually a massive reason why. And he's beating some really good other goalkeepers like Anatoly Trubin, who likely will be next in line to replace Andre Onana at Inter Milan if he goes to Manchester United. So James Trafford, just what I think it's a testament not just to England, but it's a testament to their whole defense.
And Mamadishvili of Valencia, the Georgian goalkeeper. That's a hard name to say, man.
Mamadishvili, yes. He is phenomenal too. He was Valencia's goalkeeper last season, might be making a move upwards at some point because Valencia needs cash and they need it soon, but he is a reason why Georgia did really, really well.
So goalkeepers, Mamadishvili, Trafford, Lunin, all played in the under 21 Euros and all deserve a move. So pay attention to these goalkeepers. So my defense of the under 21 Euros has James Trafford in goal. I have Juan Miranda at left back. I have Levi Colwill and Taylor Hardwood-Bellis in defense. Like, I had to have the England defense, no goal suffer. And then at the right, Victor Gomez of Sporting Club de Braga. My two fullbacks too are in Spain because they have been successful. And Arnau Martinez, watch him, okay? Great player. He deserves a move too from Girona. Another great fullback in the Spanish national team. Under 21.
Daley Blin's new club, Girona, we might add. All right, well, my defense is actually a little bit different. I didn't go full on England. Actually, I did, just not the two center backs. But I'm going to go, goalkeeper is James Trafford, understandably so. Left back, I'm going to go with Maxim de Kuiper, Belgium. Big breakout tournament, huge talent for Westerlo and could make a big move. My two center backs are Levi Colwill, although you could put Taylor Hardwood-Bellis. I feel like they're interchangeable. But my other center back, I had to give a shout out to Georgia. I had to go with Sazonov, who has been, it could be a really shrewd pickup for like a Ligue 1 team, a Serie A team. And my right back is going to be the converted right back, James Garner, who currently is contracted, if I'm not mistaken, to Everton. And dang it, Everton, play this man. Maybe not as a right back, but he has shown he can play right back. He is great from Manchester United's academy. He has been stellar for England at right back in the U21 Euros. And I hope it continues. I really, really would like to see him do well in the Premier League this season because he deserves it.
Interesting mentions. I like that. And yeah, I have just to say too, Georgia. You gotta mention Georgia in terms of defense. What you mentioned now, Sazonov and Mamadashvili. Okay, these two players, they didn't start in the team, my team at least, but they deserve the moves. It's not just Kvisha Kvaratskhelia. So Georgia were unbelievable in these under 21 Euros. But we might be mentioning some wingers forward. But midfielders, under 21 midfielders. My best midfield has Tonali. He was clearly like a class of his own in the CDM. Kakre was special too, but Tonali I'm gonna put ahead. I'm gonna put Morgan Gibbs-White, that he's been immense. Okay, he's got 5 goals and 8 assists in the Premier League. Clearly better than a lot of the rest. And my other player is Rayan Cherki. So my midfield has Tonali, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Rayan Cherki at the 10 role. Because Cherki, the talent, like the eloquence, this is a top player at Lyon. I hope next season he grabs the opportunity and he becomes a star in a league that needs stars when Mbappe leaves. So come on, Rayan Cherki.
Yeah, this was, I mean, I have Gibbs-White placed elsewhere in this, mainly because I'm trying to pigeonhole him.
But it's hard not to put Rayan and Blanco in my end, because the Spain midfield has been unreal. If I'm any team, I'm getting Antonio Blanco. Seeing Real Madrid sign non-stop midfielders, top midfielders too, I don't want to say they're bad, but Antonio Blanco's there, 22 years old, sign him up. What a player. He makes a difference.
I'm with it.
Oh, and Rayan too at Villarreal.
And that's why, this final is so fitting in a lot of ways. Antonio Blanco, if you talk about the Spanish team in the U21 Euros, you're going to talk about all the goals they've scored, right? They've scored the most out of everyone in the tournament up until the final, 13 goals. And you're not going to talk that much about Antonio Blanco, but he's a big reason why they have that setting to be able to then go and attack, right? Whereas England, you're going to talk more about that defense, rightfully so, when their offense is just as good.
Cole Palmer,
right?
man.
Jacob Ramsey and Cole Palmer and what's his name? Gomez in the middle has been phenomenal for them and more of like a holding role. Angel Gomez. But you're going to talk mostly about their defense. Why? Because they conceded 0 goals and have 5 straight clean sheets up until this final. So it's pretty crazy that, Antonio Blanco gets kind of kicked out of here because we're going to have a whole lot of Spanish players probably in our inner forwards. So anyway, just had to say that because there's, a team is a team. Yeah, my midfield's a little bit weird. I have Sandro Tonali, but I had to bring up, like, anytime Oscar Glauc was on the field for Israel was a much better team. Now they wound up, getting kicked out, but like,
losing to
England, semi-final in your first U21 Euros, Oscar Glauc, that ain't happening if you didn't have Oscar Glauc. It's that simple. And he's one of the youngest players in this particular tournament. So I think he deserves to be there, even though, yes, I 100% agree Morgan Gibbs-White has taken England to the final, right? But they're like 4 years difference there, and I wanted to put Oscar Glauc in the spotlight. The other guy I'm going to bring up is Georgi Sudakov, Shakhtar, Ukrainian player, gets on the end of Mudrik's phenomenal playmaking ability, but 3 goals in 5 games. You could tell there was a connection between the two of them. And Sudakov just was phenomenal, in my opinion. And if you're not sniffing around Shakhtar Donetsk for a new player, this kid was 20 years old, and he could definitely take a step up.
What a game against France. What a game against France he had. Like 2 goals against France, 3-1 win. Yep. Clear impact for Mudryk too. So great mention that you're doing at Sudakov. Like Shakhtar losing maybe Sudakov and Andriy Lunin in one transfer window. Under 21 euros ain't helping them. No, financially they are. So, but mentioning
snap back to normalcy some, except we don't have the Brazilian contingent in Shakhtar anymore. And one day maybe we'll have that back, and I hope it's someday soon.
Let's see, like with the forwards now of the under 21 euros, they can be hard, but my choices were clear. I have at left wing, I have Sergio Gomes. My striker is Abel Ruiz. I really think Abel Ruiz was the best striker in the under 21 euros next to Zeki Abdouni. He has 3 goals and his 2 assists are absolutely vital in the build-up play that it shows by being involved with that. Abel Ruiz and my other winger is Mudryk. Mudryk's impact for Ukraine is insane, okay? And Mudryk was one of the best players in the under 21 euros. Seeing Mudryk there, Levi Colwill, Sandro Tonali, Sergio Gomes, like Openda was there. The talent collection of the under 21 euros was insane. And I want to give a special shout out to the Georgian wingers of Davitashvili and Tsitaishvili. Okay, I'm butchering these 2 players, but they're excellent wingers. One at Dinamo Batumbi and another one at Bordeaux. Pay attention to these Georgian wingers because it's not just Kvaratskhelia. It's Davitashvili and Tsitaishvili. I'm sorry for butchering them, but they're ballers. But they're ballers.
Attempt.
Pay attention.
It was a solid attempt. Oh, I give you an A for effort, F for performance. But I think I would love to see them on larger levels. Yes. I'd love to see them make a move, and at least those Georgian wingers. I forget which one it was, but he gave us probably the goal of the tournament.
Tsitaishvili. It was Tsitaishvili.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not even going to attempt it because you already have. But I like it. And I think really the only difference here is my right wing. I think Mudryk was definitely good enough to be here. I think Barcola gets a shout.
Yes.
Heck, I think if you could go a full Spanish front line and put Rodri Sanchez, the Real Betis player up here as well. But I didn't do any of that. I do have Sergio Gomez at left wing. I have Abel Ruiz at the top. And then my right winger, I pigeonholed here because he's not a winger. But I threw Morgan Gibbs-White here, which I know is the wrong thing to do because, come on, you have to be tactically perfect.
No Anthony Gordon.
Just hold it. No Anthony Gordon yet. No. And no Cole Palmer, who actually is an out-and-out right winger, right? I mean, he could have been here based on his semifinal performance alone. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see. And listen, England is playing Spain. England hasn't won since 1984, the last time they were in the final. They gave us gems in 2009 with Lee Cattermole, Mark Noble, Micah Richards, James Milner, and Joe Hart were all on the pitch in some capacity for England back when they were in a U21 Euro final. So how's that for a blast from the past? Whereas Spain have now made, let me see if I get this right.
They've won
5.
6.
They've won 6, and they have 5 of the last 7 finals that they've taken a part in.
Oh,
Spain, if you need to understand it, Spain obviously is a whole lot more than Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, but my goodness, that was a golden portion of their time. But they have been routinely generating some of the best talent on the planet for years.
That's true.
For years. And it's really impressive. And I think England has caught up dramatically, caught up massively, because if you look at some of the players and what we know that they'll likely go on to do for this U21 Euro team, it's really, really impressive. And so 2 very deserving teams in this final and getting to this final because they have been dominant for the most part all along the way.
A lot of these players, they were too, like Abel, Ruiz, Juan, Miranda, they were in under 17 World Cup final that they played against England too. So it's interesting to see how in the future everything seems to pan out and they go against each other once again. Oh, it's so interesting. But I don't want to forget the Dutch talents and the Portuguese talents, okay? Pedro Neto, Chico Sessão, Fábio Silva, João Neves being there too. João Neves was instrumental for Portugal. We went through in the knockout stages because of João Neves' goal, and be excited to watch João Neves next season at Benfica. Wanted to say that. And the Dutch talents with Brian Brobby, Kenneth Taylor, Quinton Timber. You had many, many good players. And Belgium too. Sorry. De Bast. You got you even like the goalies. Kuiper, You have Martin van der Voort one side. Then you have Bart. That's Bart. Verbruggen. That's going to Brighton. So a lot of good players from the Dutch team and the Belgian team. But just in terms of performance, Spain and England definitely have an edge. But let's saying our 11s. Just wanted to say. My best under 21 Euros. My best under 21 Euros 11 has James Trafford in goal. It has Juan Miranda, Levi Colwill, and Tyler Arwood-Bellis at center back with Vitor Gomez at the right back. And then in my 3 in midfield, I have Sandro Tonali, I have Rayan, Cherki, and Morgan Gibbs-White. And my fun trio has Mudryk, it has Abel Ruiz. Come on, Braga, and it has Sergio Gomez. But shout out to Anthony Gordon and 2 players being of Sporting Club Braga, Abel Ruiz and Vitor Gomez.
There you go. All right, my 11 is, we have a lot of similarities here, but some different. Okay, my 11 for the U21 Euros is goalkeeper is James Trafford. My left back is Maxim de Kuiper of Belgium. My 2 center backs are Levi Colwill from England and Saba Sazonov. Big shout out to Georgia. Right back is converted right back James Garner for England. My midfield is Tonali, Italy, Oscar Glauc, key for Israel's semifinal run, Georgi Sudikov for Ukraine. And my front I love that you call it a trio. My front trio is Sergio Gomez and Abel Ruiz, and then I threw Morgan Gibbs-White up there, who played a little more advanced. But there are so many names here. This is why you got to pay attention to these youth tournaments. It's wonderful, wonderful. And right now, U21 Euros is ending. U19 Euros is just starting out. And right now, it looks like Spain is one of the hottest teams to watch. So definitely start paying attention to that.
Portugal.
Or follow the podcast. And we'll be doing that. Portugal too. Oh, yeah.
Hugo Felix.
Hugo Felix, yeah.
Yeah, man. Hugo Felix, 2 goals, 2 assists already in the under 19 European competition. Rodrigo Ribeiro. There's many players. Duke Briost. I love that player. So people, pay attention to our under 19 team. And Gonçalo Ribeiro, the goalkeeper. Great goalkeeper too from Futebol Clube do Porto. But people, did we forget any name? Let us know in the comments section. And if you're listening until now, don't forget to like this video.